sadly, I know on this Monday, we are going to start on a bit of a difficult note because at least 15 people have been killed and more than 40 others injured in a terrorist attack at a Hanukkah event in Bondi Beach, Australia. And that includes someone who was injured, a bystander who, in an act of extraordinary bravery, actually tackled and disarmed one of the shooters. This is the deadliest shooting in almost 30 years in Australia. So this tragedy has left Jewish communities all around the world shaken, and our hearts over the victims and their families and everyone affected by this kind of hatred. This has to end now. Okay. All right. Do we have any Swifties in the house today?
All right. I love it.
Well, then maybe your house was like my house this weekend because the Taylor Swift documentary came out, the docuseries. And in this docuseries, it's called Taylor Swift, The End of an Era. Taylor is shown to surprise her crew with handwritten thank you notes and huge bonuses. Bonuses, I know. And we're not talking like $200. In total, she gave away $197 million US in bonuses. So here's the question. We know about it because she chose to put it in her docu-series. The question is that tacky to shoot this and put it in your own series, or is this admirable?
Well, I think it's really, really admirable. But why am I cringing?
Right.
Do you know why? I think because it's like holding up a mirror. Because this is something I would do. I am a Taylor Swift. If I did something that incredible, if I had the means to do something that incredible, I really think, and I was filming a documentary, I'd really want that to be in the documentary instead of it being this truly altruistic act of giving the money away without anyone ever having to know about it. So I'm more of a Taylor Swift than, say, a Keanu Reeves, who, like, I think after it was the 4th John Wick, he gave his entire stunt team Rolex watches engraved. Wow. And no one knew about it, but the stunt men and women filmed it. So it got out there.
Right.
You know, it got out there in sort of this natural, organic way instead of, like, I don't know, I just feel cringy about it.
Oh my God, I get why you feel cringy about it, but I don't think that this was meant for her to be like, look how amazing I am. I think this was her flexing for other billionaires. How many times do we look at people and say, you know, you've become a billionaire on the backs of your workers, the people who made you a billionaire, why don't you give them a little thanks? And so I think it is really her saying to other billionaires, treat the people who helped get you to where you got well, and that everybody should be treated this way.
It's like, don't do that.
I mean, it is a good point. I mean, I'm sort of on the fence around this because she does do other philanthropic work that I don't think we're necessarily aware of. So I don't think this is a one-off case. And I think back to that music video that Drake did where he was giving away money to everyone. We loved watching that music video.
Did we?
I did. I thought it was really nice. I mean, let's also just balance out the fact that things like this, gestures like this, are tax write-offs for these billionaires. Like, I'm not trying to be cynical, but I wonder if there is something to this idea of treating your staff really well, because everyone knows what a big fan I am of Prince. Prince was known for being very charitable, and he didn't want this information out there until it came out after his death. He was very, very private about it. He did everything from donate to the family of Trayvon Martin to, like, you know, a dance studio in New York City, like all over the place.
And all quietly?
All quietly. And that's wonderful and it's amazing. But there's also rumblings with some of his musicians that he didn't necessarily always pay them that well. I also think about one of his ex-wives who I follow on Instagram, and she wrote a book, but she also continues to teach belly dancing lessons. So that to me says that
she got no money out of the divorce.
I don't think she got a ton of money out of the divorce. So I guess it's just like, it's interesting to think, like, what do we value from these people? And maybe for him, it was like, you know, he made choices in his life about where he was going to put his money to. But
so she was better off opening a dance studio in New York, is what you're saying?
Maybe, I don't know.
This is very interesting. I think it's wonderful, and I think it's a great example to her very young fans that, you know, when you do something great, you don't ever do it by yourself. There's always a team of people. And saying thank you is important, but also if you have something to give those people to make their lives easier, you give it to them. And for her to give that kind of money to me, when she was on her tour, I didn't hear about one hiccup. Not
Yeah,
one
that's
dancer
accurate,
doing
yeah.
anything wrong, nothing falling, no scaffolding falling down, not one light falling. That means that her team, for every single concert, did their job to the best of their ability, and that's why it was such a wonderful and successful tour. So to give, it's the same way that in a company, if you do well for it at the end of the year, you get a bonus. So it's
You're
no
right.
different than a corporation doing that. And also I'm thinking the backdrop of The Reckoning, you know that documentary on Netflix about Sean Diddy Combs, you know, with all the nonsense? One thing that stuck out is that everybody talked about the fact that he was notorious for not paying people.
Yes.
And that he said, somebody said that he liked people to be hungry. That's why he didn't like to pay
But the
them.
public aspect doesn't bother you? Like, I think everything you just said, yes, they should be paid. Yes, it's like, she's almost like a CEO of this corporation and
Yeah.
she's giving bonuses. But the public of it being the documentary?
I think the difference is the day and age that we come from and the day and age of these young people. They share every single aspect of their lives, and we don't. We come from a time when Prince, you don't tell anybody.
Yeah.
These kids don't hide anything. We know everything from what color socks she likes, what the names of her pets. We know everything. So
Yeah.
why wouldn't she share this with her fans? Because it's a positive.
It is a
It's
positive, and I just want to put this in context. She made over $2 billion on this tour. What she gave away was less than 10% of what she made on this tour. So it's a great way to balance the headline. She is now a billionaire, and she still was able to give away almost $200 million US. I don't think there's a bad headline to be had.
That's true, that's true. Hey, hey, what about this? Do you think it's a bad sign when someone isn't wearing their wedding ring? Because in an interview with USA Today, second Lady Usha Vance was asked about the rumors that her marriage to JD Vance was in trouble after she was seen without her wedding ring. So Vance shook it off, saying, I wear it when I wear it, and I don't when I don't. So do you think it means trouble when someone doesn't wear theirs?
What do you guys think? Okay, I don't think it's a marker of you not having a good marriage if you're not wearing a wedding ring. I know a lot of people who are in wonderful unions and they don't wear a ring for a myriad of reasons. This is not that couple. Sorry. And I'll give you the 3 reasons why I say that. First of all, the day of the inauguration, we actually talked about this, and the question was, do you think it's a problem if your partner walks ahead of you? And I'm like, no, except for this one time when I saw the vice president walking ahead of his wife. He's walking up the steps to meet Kamala Harris, and he walks ahead of his wife. And what you miss in that second is that Kamala's husband has to tell JD, pump your brakes, your wife is not with you yet. Don't fly up the stairs. And in that moment, I never thought about these two, but I'm like, that's a problem. The fact that on this very large day, this big day, that you didn't turn around and wait for your wife to come from around the car was like, okay. Then there is the hug that we all talked about a few months ago, you know, with Charlie Kirk's widow. This where she has her hand on the back of his head. Listen, I'm not into hugging people's husbands, period, but if I'm going to, my hand is nowhere near the back of his head.
Oh.
And then, right? What? I'm looking for a fight. I got my hand on the back of Ryan's head. What, am I trying to get killed? No.
Only Jess Allen does that to Ryan.
And she's allowed, Jess is allowed. And then the third is, if you notice, there's a lot of video of these two. Do you ever see them looking affectionate or even just kind of exchanging glances? They're very transactional with each other. So that's why I'm like, there's too many Easter eggs where I'm like, I'm not buying that there's not trouble here. We're seeing too many things.
I mean, here's the thing. I think there's a gender component to this, as always. I think we don't blink when a man doesn't wear his wedding ring, ever. But I think we do look into it heavily. What's the history of her wearing her ring? That would be my question.
Yeah.
If she's always wearing her ring, and then all of a sudden she doesn't wear it, was she giving the kids a bath, or is it something more? You know what I'm saying? So I think there is a question there. But I also think if Kate Middleton showed up one day without her wedding ring, the world would go on fire.
Yeah, you're right.
But by the way, Prince William has never worn his wedding ring once.
Is that a true story?
Yeah, true story. So I don't know. I think we don't know.
I feel like it's so unfair because I feel in a way chained to my ring sometimes. Like I think you and I are similar in that Jason doesn't wear his ever, or except for like fancy occasions, and I wear mine all the time. But sometimes I just want to take it off. But I know now, we've all been trained that it will send a message. So, but I want to.
Canada will start talking, Cynthia.
Get ready for 2026. I'm going to get you talking.
And then I'm gonna put my hand on the back of your husband's head. Please.
Okay.
They were like ready to kill me. Oh my God.
You got to get Jason out of the house first. It's true.
Nailed it. So this California high school teacher and eligible bachelor posted on Instagram, I know. He posted,
Ladies.
somewhere out there is a woman who's gonna ask me how my day was. And in a surprise plot twist, Khloe Kardashian responded by writing, how was your day? And now he's gonna go for it, so take a look.
I figured, why not shoot my shot? This Saturday, I have a staff holiday party, and I would absolutely love if you came as my date. If you can't make that work, then maybe Chris can add me to your holiday party. But in all seriousness, I'm going to be in Southern California during winter break, and I would absolutely love to hear how the rest of your day went.
Oh, you like this? I don't know. What do you guys think of this?
Okay, I know, even though I cringed a little bit, I love this so much. I'll tell you why. If you guys know Khloe Kardashian, her picker is broken. She does not know how to pick men. She's had a really long line of not great guys that, you know, and so for her, this finally seems like a wholesome, nice man who's got a good job. He's really cute. He's my favorite, a little Italian in there. So I think that it'd be lovely just for her to date outside of what she normally dates. Having said that, if anybody watched the latest season of Love is Blind, it's not gonna work because I think they're just too different. But either way, it's a win-win. There is no downside to this. This is like a real-life Hallmark movie, but like in real life, there's no downside. And guess what? She's not responded yet. She hasn't responded.
Jess and I are like,
I don't think he's gonna. I don't think she's going to respond. But guess what? The women are throwing themselves at his account. He's gonna be fine.
You had me about her like not picking men very well. You had me about how this is so cute how he put it up. What I find absolutely cringe and a big red flag for her is that he's continuing to do it publicly. He asked her to his staff party on social media because it gained so much traction. And then he also said, if you can't come, maybe I could come to your family holiday party.
Cringe.
It's so thirsty.
Let him have his 15 minutes.
No, it's just like, I think shoot your shot. Shoot your shot, but in private, in a DM, that's shooting a shot, whatever that means.
Watch your hand gestures.
Oh, yeah.
Watch your hand gestures. Okay. I feel like as a former teacher, I would have thought also, like, this is very much like he has students who are watching this behavior. Don't you think that that's
They are loving it. They are loving it.
You know what? This makes for a great movie. That's actually a movie starring Jennifer Lopez and Owen Wilson called Marry Me. It's about, remember, she's a superstar and she dates a regular guy. And in the movies, it's great. She is going to destroy your life, sir. And not purposely, but I think what he doesn't understand is, with her comes so much scrutiny and so much TMZ and everybody watching every single second of your life, and he does not live that life. You don't live in a gated community. You drive a regular car, and as soon as people, if this were to turn into something, he'd really quickly realize that his whole life would be turned upside down, not to mention that you are never gonna have the focus or attention of any student in your class ever again. Because if I'm in that class, it'd be like, so sir, we don't wanna do this test. Tell us about your date with Khloe.
That's
right. Exactly.
What'd you do? We want more information. I don't want to do the exam. Tell me how, like, and if she shows up at the school,
she's not
forget about it. Forget about it. So
I agree. I think
it sounds
this is
cute, but I think it's not what you want.
This is an audition for his role in The Bachelor. Like, he's just a marketing scheme.
It's PR.
I thought it was kind of cute. Like, you know, he's kind of cute, but ultimately, I agree with you. I think at some point he had to decide. He's just getting this litany of women who are also emailing him constantly. Like, to me, there's something like really, really narcissistic and gross about this. Anyways, red flags for me.
I'm here for it.
Okay, so we got one and three of us are like, absolutely not. All right, so our next topic comes to us from a viewer. Shelly wrote to us saying, dear ladies, the parent rep for my kids' class has asked that we send whatever amount of money we feel comfortable with as a contribution towards a holiday gift for the teacher. Now, the parents rep plans to give the teacher the final amount in cash, along with a card with all of the kids' names included. So cash feels like an inappropriate gift for a public school teacher for me, but most of the other parents don't seem to think it's a problem. Am I out of line? What do you think? Is cash an appropriate gift
is good
for a teacher?
She should be asking the teacher from the last topic.
Yeah.
What do you think of this? It does seem a little bit odd, and yet I know that this is one of those things where this is an emotional labor that falls on women, and we feel like yesterday I was just like, oh my God, I forgot about the teacher's gifts. And Jai is in middle school, so he doesn't have just one teacher. He has two homeroom teachers. He has a gym teacher and a music teacher that are very important.
And you have to get a gift for everybody?
Well, I feel like that's part of what we do. So I like the idea of just one person consolidating this, putting it all together. It's just that, like, what if not a lot of people contribute and the card opens up and it's just like a floating
How much money
bill.
do you give a student? Like, if I know I have a child that's a real pain in the you-know-what, when I'm like, here's 2,000, because I know. I know what you deal with. Like, What's
That's
the
a great
cost? What's the
question.
rate?
Okay, that's a really great question, and I think it's probably what each person. The reason why I like this idea is teachers. Listen, I know I'm saying this because I used to be a teacher, but anybody who knows this, I think the two pillars of any good society is solid education and solid health care.
Yeah.
And in this province and across this country, you know who the people are who are getting a really short end of the stick? Educators and healthcare workers, right across the board.
Absolutely, Mel.
You want to give cash? Give the cash, okay? Do you know how many teachers are reaching into their own wallets and have been for years to try to fund and get stuff for their own classroom?
What about a gift card for those
Listen,
supply
even
stores?
if it's cash, there are rules. Let me be clear. There are rules in some school boards about what's appropriate. But what I love about the group gift, then you get around the issue of, are you trying to bribe your teacher because Johnny's a bad kid? If you do a group gift, you can't identify who gave what, but what a nice gesture. Just do
what's the
something
right
else.
And then the day my dad was a teacher, and one year he got an ashtray. So I think we've come a long way.
We've come
Yeah,
a long
there's somewhere
way.
between cash.
Yeah.
Also, doesn't cash feel a little transactional?
Yeah.
Like, outside of giving it to a teenager who you're like, they don't want toys anymore, doesn't cash feel very impersonal and a little transactional? Like, here's $20.
Yeah.
Like, I don't
does,
know, I
but-
just feel like there's something, you got a little bit more thought.
It could be more thought, or listen, they've been buying your kids all the stuff that they've been using in the class
Yeah.
with their
Right.
own money.
Sorry about
With
that
their own
Johnny
money.
situation.
Johnny.